Hello, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, new location for today. This will be the new studio for the foreseeable future. This is gonna be just where we set up. We're hoping to get some United stuff and some other memorabilia, football, and obviously I know a couple of you want some gaming stuff, so hopefully we can get a webcam and other things to sort that out for us. But this video is mainly going to be about Liverpool versus Man U. As you can probably all see, I'm wearing a Manchester United shirt. I am a Man U fan, so I apologise to a lot of you because I know you are Liverpool fans, mostly in our school and in our fan base. But if you're new and you're not from our school, welcome. My name is Morgan, and I can't wait to begin this incredible preview of one of, I think, the biggest match this weekend. Liverpool absolutely are incredible. They are on fire in the league, and I'm excited to see what this match is going to bring. Now, the first thing I'm going to bring you to is an injury to Conte. Conte's been a big player for Liverpool this year, and it's something that I'm excited to see in general. Isn't going to be there. That's going to be a big thing for us. I think that's going to benefit United, and especially those new attackers as well. With the injury, I hear it's a hamstring, and I hear he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks, which, big blow, and he's dropped out of the France squad, and that's just sad on a human factor. It's sad, but it makes me very happy as a United fan when we're playing them. Liverpool also had another injury to Jadon Dan. He's not a big player for them, doesn't play very often, but he got injured. I believe another hamstring, but I believe he will be out for 2 to 3 weeks, same as Conte, so I would expect a return for him. But one of the other really good players, Ryan Birch, got injured on international duty. He's had an incredible start to the season, and I can't believe he's injured. That's another hamstring, and sadly this time it's going to be potentially 3 or 4 weeks for him, but they're still waiting to have a look at him. Before that, Alisson obviously having a hamstring injury as well before the international break, and that's going to be very interesting as well. I would expect Deshali to replace him, who's an amazing goalkeeper anyway in his own right. But I think that backline is going to be something that is going to struggle, definitely. We know that very well, so it'll be interesting to see who they'll use. They can't use, I think a lot of people were thinking Kwanzaa, but they sold him to Bayer Leverkusen as well. But that's going to be a bit of a blow for them. And I know they don't have great squad depth, that's why they went for Mark Guehi in the summer, but obviously the deal didn't work out with Crystal Palace, and I obviously think that's been a massive blow for them. I think they thought, oh amazing, we've got to sign him back, we'll be fine. But, it hasn't worked out for them, and that's quite sad, really. Quite sad. But one of the players they did splash the cash on, Florian Wirtz. Okay. Know what you're all thinking? Oh my word, what a flop. And I completely agree. 115 million. At the time, was a transfer record for the British transfer record. Wow. What a disappointment. What a disappointment. I think the sign says it all. Not good enough. It's not good enough. For the amount Liverpool played, if it had happened at United, I would be fuming. I can see why they bought him. I can see it. I can see it from the clips. But he's not ready for the Premier League, in my opinion. And that's something that's quite sad, obviously, and something why we see this league as one of the best. From my point of view, he was a great player last year, from what I saw of him, when Liverpool got linked. But that's going to be something that'll build over time, and I'm excited to see where that goes in the future. But at the moment, you have to admit it's a disappointment. However, that relationship with Frimpong has been incredible. I think that was a really good signing by Liverpool, and I can't wait to see him back. Liverpool have obviously struggled in that defensive area, and I personally think they're going to struggle again in that defensive area this season. But I think that could benefit United. We've got obviously Sasko, who's still trying to learn the trade, and it's why I think we should have kept an experienced striker like Højlund, who went to Napoli. Obviously, we've seen how amazing he's been for Napoli, and that is happening with a lot of United players, including Rashford. And, I don't know, there must be some toxicity from... I think there's a toxicity from the board, toxicity from the fan base, toxicity from the press, and just the amount of cameras they have is a bit over the top. We're talking about Man United, who won trebles and stuff in the late 90s, and all these incredible players. Another reason United have been struggling this season has been defence. We look at Dalot. Dalot's been abysmal for us for, I think, at least 2 or 3 seasons now. He's very irritable, very annoying for the fan base, and I'm kind of sad to see him return, to be honest, because I don't think he's good enough. And I personally would prefer to put anyone else. I would prefer to put Mazraoui in, who's also returning, in over him. I think he's a great 20-minute guy. Get him on for 20 minutes, he'll be fine. But I think that's a massive blow for us, really, if we do start Dalot, and I think that'll sum up the game, really. If we start Dalot, then we know that Liverpool will ultimately defeat us again. Now, another big controversial thing will be the goalkeeper. Now, personally, I think Lemens had an amazing game against Sunderland, and that's going to be a great area to see what Amorim does. Now, I feel like he's going to go with Binder. He's trusted Binder for quite a lot of the games, and I think that would probably align with us. Obviously, Onana is on loan with Transport in Germany and already being voted man of the match, which makes him look good for us anyway, even though we did pay 50 million for him. So I'm excited to see where that goes, really. I'm excited for the January. I think we could get some quick fire sales there. Casemiro was also offered a new 3-year deal while we were away. Apparently he has to take a wage cut, which is reasonable in my opinion. He's on 375k and he isn't performing well enough, and it's why Ruben is constantly picking him. And I think that if he does want to stay, then he has to take a massive hit on that, and I think really reasonably I would take 230k from that 375k, which is rumoured. But as well, Man U have been linked with some new owners, which that could be good to buy out the Glazer party, and that's something that will happen in due course, but I haven't heard much on that, and I personally don't think that deal will happen. However, I'm just going to give reports of what has come out in recent days. Bruno's been terrible for United in the last couple of games, personally, but it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with that, because we've been playing him in the deeper role, not in his original position, and I think that's going to be interesting whether he's going to be playing that deep position again. I personally like him in the 10, but Kuno and other people were brought in to do that. So Bruno's adaptable, but personally I like him in the 10. Liverpool have struggled with their defence. That's going to be something that we need to exploit. We know that. Amorim's been under pressure, I think, since the end of last season. I think everyone will admit that. losing quite a lot, finishing 15th. Obviously, the Europa League, losing that, which was devastating. Obviously, especially with Spurs winning that, and double heartache for me with Brandon Johnson scoring as a Welshman. But again, great player Johnson. If you you know. But so Jim then came out this week and said that he would give Amorim another 3 years, and quite bold since the fan base was calling for his head in the last game before the international break, and that'll be something that I'm excited to see where it goes. Yeah, really, that's going to be a very interesting weekend, I think. There's quite a lot of really good games on, and that's going to be extremely interesting, especially that game with United this year. And another really big game for this weekend, I personally think, on Saturday will be Sunderland versus Wales. You know, Wales have struggled. Sunderland have been quite good. If Wales lose to them, they're kind of screwed, really. And there's some really good games like Brighton and Newcastle, which will be very interesting. But I'll give a roundup after Saturday on that, and that'll be very interesting to see where those results are. So yeah, I predict for the Man U versus Liverpool game, I predict Liverpool to win, and I personally think that will be 3-1. I think it'll be a Bruno pen for United to win. But before we leave, I'm going to say this. Have a good day. Have a good evening, whatever you're doing. Of course, don't forget, guys, to like and subscribe. And I shall see you soon. Alright. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.